And we have Dr. Amber Bratcher with us today. And Amber is coming to us all the way from Los Angeles in America. And thank you very much for squeezing us in. So Amber is a marine biologist, and she teaches biology and marine biology in Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. And she does a lot of work on phytoplankton, which are teeny tiny little plants in the ocean, and harmful algal blooms. And so Amber, can you tell us a little bit more about the kind of the research you're working on at the moment?
So at the moment, most of what I'm doing is kind of setting up a survey system. So we don't have a lot of active monitoring for harmful algae in this area, which are all of the little algae that produce toxins and are bad for humans and the environment. So my role primarily when I started here was to kind of set up this monitoring system, and I have a few undergrads that help out as well. And we go out and collect samples together and look at them in the lab just to kind of get a baseline understanding of what lives here, because we don't really know very well.
And what has gotten you involved then in that field in marine biology and harmful toxins?
So initially I got involved kind of by accident. After my undergrad, I started doing some work as a research technician in a lab at the University of Maine, just because I wanted some experience doing science in a lab. And that was the lab that I got hired into. And they studied a lot of harmful algae and phytoplankton. And so the more I did it, the more I kind of grew to like it, and then decided that was the direction I wanted to go. And from there, just kind of jumped off into grad school and stuck with it.
Mm-hmm. On one fateful trip over to Queens and Belfast, of course.
Of course, can't forget that.
So was that always, being a scientist and working in science, is that always what you wanted to do?
I always knew I wanted to do science, and I've always been interested in science, but honestly, up until my last year of undergrad, I thought I wanted to be a physician and was on a pre-med program track. And then I did some summer courses in marine biology, actually on a little island off the coast of Maine, and fell in love with research and the ocean, and switched gears and decided that's what I really wanted to do.
Are there any particular qualifications that you need for your job, or any particular skills that you think would be useful for anyone who's going to be working in STEM?
I think probably the most important thing is to be able to tell people what you're doing and communicate. I think communication is a really big one that people often don't think about. For me, I teach at a university, so I have to have a PhD and able to do that. So I had to go to grad school for that. And for the lab skills, I learned all that during grad school, so that I'm able to actually carry out the research that I'm interested in doing.
Brilliant. So you learn a lot of that on the job and doing your course and stuff as well. So that's great.
Absolutely.
And what would you say are the best and kind of the most challenging aspects of what you do and working in your field?
For me, the most challenging thing is that I am a very, I don't know, not forward type of person. I'm not very outspoken at all. So, making sure that I'm, pushing for what I want to do and my needs, and making sure that I get heard. I always had a huge fear of public speaking, and now here I am lecturing 4 times a day to undergraduates, and just kind of having that confidence and, yes, you know what you're doing, and, it's okay to be nervous or not feel like you're the best person, because, you just keep doing it, and practice makes it perfect.
What do you like most about it then?
For me, definitely getting to go places and meet different people. So my time when I got to come work at Queens for the summer, it was 6 weeks, I think I was there, was really fun. So getting to travel places and do research in different places, getting to go to conferences and meet up with other people that study similar things or even not similar things. Just getting to interact with people around the world is definitely the best part for me.
Good. It was definitely one of my favorite bits as well. So obviously it doesn't always kind of work straightforward first time around. Science by its nature is a whole mixture of things that work and don't work, and trying to kind of fix the problems. but there's a whole pile of other things that can go wrong kind of in developing your career and everything else. So how would you say, how would you cope with setbacks or whenever things don't work out straight away for you?
I think the biggest thing is perseverance. So just sticking with it, because things often do not work out the way you want to. Through my whole PhD, which was about 6.5 years, which is pretty standard for the US, but I feel like probably 5 of those years were just things not working out and, experiments failing or people saying, you don't know enough to do this. I got a lot of that. Depending on the field that you're going into, there might be, not very many people that look like you. There weren't a lot of women initially in my field. And so I would go to conferences and be interacting with a lot of men that were much older than me and seemed to know a lot more. So just kind of, persevering, sticking to your ground, yes, you can do this, just kind of have that confidence in yourself, whether, it's coming from a disadvantaged background or, just not feeling represented by the other people in your field, whatever it is, like, just know that you can do it and you can overcome it and just keep on going, even when it feels like you're not making progress.
Brilliant. That brings me right into the next one then. So any words of wisdom for girls or young people in general entering STEM?
Kind of just along the same lines. I mean, don't get discouraged, don't think, oh, I'm a girl, I can't do this. You can totally do this. Amazingly, women have different ways of thinking for sure. And we often are really good at coming up with creative solutions to problems. And just being able to approach it with a different mindset is often very advantageous. So don't think of it as being a disadvantage to be a woman going into STEM by any means. And any kind of STEM, they are all equally awesome.
Yeah. Good, great. Okay, and then just really quickly, because I know you have to run and teach another class now. For International Women's Day this year, the theme is Break the Bias. And there's a whole massive range of bias across all different kinds of fields, not just in STEM. But how do you see any opportunities to break the bias in your field of research?
So getting involved, get involved wherever you can. Often just kind of getting your foot in the door for something, whether it's volunteering with a group doing research to kind of get to meet people or to know people. If you're farther along looking for grants, there are often lots of grants that are, focused on getting people that are underrepresented for whatever reason, into the field. So you'll find opportunities like that. Some programs through different schools or universities even will focus on, getting people into STEM that wouldn't traditionally be represented by, their own groups or what they might see. So just kind of, I guess, again, don't be discouraged. There's something out there for everyone. Sometimes it just takes a little bit looking for it. But don't ever hesitate to reach out to someone that that's doing something similar or, something else in another field of STEM and finding those connections to get involved.
Yeah, having a mentor is so important. So Thank you so much, Amber. That is brilliant. And we'll get to be in the same soil again sometime soon. And,
hopefully.
Good luck with your research and enjoy the lovely sunshine over in LA.
Thank you.